Good morning, world.
Good morning.
So this is the last day of 2020.
Woo! I think all 2020 was just a complete and total damn shame. And I'm sure I share the sentiments of a lot of you who feel the exact same way.
That's funny because if you go back a year ago, we did our Welcome 2020 episode. Remember that? Right. Remember way back when we thought it was going to be the Roaring 20s?
Yes, 2020 is going to be a great year.
Yeah, instead it was a yes show.
Yes, it was. A sugar show.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to test your trivia on the fantastic year of 2020.
Yeah, just in case you forgot anything, we're going to remind you of all the incredible things that happened in 2020.
And then what you can do is you can take it, tear it up, put it in a trash can and burn it so it'll never come back, right? Exactly. Isn't that what they say about X's, right?
Yep.
So it's going to be an X year.
Exactly. So gather your family and friends around to play a little Cedric and Brian 2020 trivia. I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian, and this is Cedric and Brian.
All right, here we go. Like I said, we're going to play a little 2020 trivia. Now, a little cynicism, a little laughter, a little lighthearted stuff. Don't get triggered if we say some things that you might find offensive. Just go along and play with the game. And we're going to give you a list of questions. And the rules are we're going to give you a list of like 4 possible answers.
Or 5 or 6.
4 or 5 or 6.
10,
we're going to
20.
Just go with the flow.
That's right. And remember to laugh, because if you don't laugh, you're just going to cry.
Exactly. So let's enjoy this last year of 2020 and go out with a bang, because 2021 is going to be better than 2020. That's all I can say.
Let's enjoy this last year of 2020.
This last day of 2020. Let's enjoy this last day of 2020. All right, you want to start off?
You want me to edit that or leave that in there?
You can edit that.
I'm going to leave it in just for you. This is going to be in no particular order.
Okay, let's start with a little bit more serious one right off the bat.
All right.
Okay, in 2020, Donald Trump became the 3rd U.S. president to be impeached. Who were the other 2? Option A, Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton. George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Harry Truman and John F. Kennedy. Or Richard Nixon and George W. Bush. Who were the other 2 presidents to be impeached? What do you think? You know? Well, of course you know.
I do know.
You do?
Yeah.
All right.
So, of course, that was Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton.
Who did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Nobody got impeached for?
Yeah. Well, he didn't get impeached for doing it. He lied about it.
Yep.
Because he didn't have sexual relations.
Yeah, I bet some of you thought it was Nixon, didn't you? Richard Nixon didn't get impeached.
Yeah.
He resigned and then got pardoned.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right, I'm going to take the next question. Did you get that last one right? All right. What prominent doctor did Cedric and Brian interview this year regarding the COVID pandemic?
That was interesting because I know we had a lot of our friends who came up and asked us, like, how did you 2 guys get an interview with him?
So, is it Dr. Mehmet Oz? You know, Dr. Oz. Was it Anthony Fauci? Was it Dr. Julius Irving?
That was for a good viewer of ours, John Majunkin. We know he's a diehard Philadelphia fan, so we threw that in there for you, John.
Giving it away.
Yes, but
He might have thought that was him. Or Dr. Jeffrey Barkey. Those are your 4. So yeah, Dr. J.
Yes.
Dr. J.
Dr. Julius Irving.
We should work on getting that in.
You know, for those of you who watched our Walter Williams episode, I forgot to throw in a little trivia about that. I told you that he grew up next to Bill Cosby, but he's also, according to what we saw, he's also a distant cousin to Julius Irving, the doctor.
All right.
So you have to go back and watch that episode. The doctor that Brian and I interviewed, Dr. Jeffrey Barkey out in Newport Beach. Hello, Dr. Barkey, if you're listening. Thank you for sitting down with Brian and I. And I know we pestered you 50 times before you finally said yes, but we appreciate it anyway.
Persistence pays.
Look him up. To date, this being December 31st, how much money has BLM raised for social, racial justice things?
For those of you who've been living under a rock, that stands for Black Lives Matter.
You have to point to me. They know what it means.
Black Lives Matter.
Or all lives matter.
Oh, no. We just got canceled.
Okay, what's the answer,
And
Brian?
you can't say that Black Lives Matter is a communist or socialist organization, even though it is. And the answer, you better be sitting down for this, $10 billion.
With a B?
With a B.
$10 billion.
Boy, they must have built a lot of inner cities with all that money.
They're doing a lot with that money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can see it.
Got somebody elected. I know that.
Oh, jeez.
All right, you ready for the next one? What SJW words, and that stands for Social Justice Warriors, did LeBron James wear on the back of his NBA jersey last season? You know, because he's all about that.
Yeah.
Social
For those of
justice.
you who don't know, the NBA, they took off their actual real last names and put on phrases on the back of their jerseys.
So, did he put, I can't breathe? This is funny. Cedric said this. Or make free throws. How many more teams will I play for? Stand up, except for the national anthem.
That's pretty funny.
Or James, as in King James.
As in the self-appointed King James.
Yes.
I'm going to go with I can't breathe or make free throws.
Well, a lot of guys did put I can't breathe on their jerseys.
Yeah, they did.
Or they put, I know in the NFL they put it takes all of us. They put Breonna Taylor and stuff.
Breonna Taylor, yeah. Well, actually, and Brian pointed out, you guys get the answer? He just had his own last name. And Brian and I were talking earlier, is like his own ego couldn't overcome his wokeness. He's like, oh, no.
You mean his wokeness couldn't overcome his ego?
His wokeness couldn't overcome the ego. He's like, I'm all about this, but I got to have my last name on my
Gotta have
jersey.
my names. And then in small print, made in China, I think.
Yeah, right, yes. Exactly.
All right, so you got the next one?
Okay. How should a mask be properly worn? Mouth and nose should be covered. Just cover your mouth, exposing your nose. Doesn't matter as long as you touch it several times throughout the day to make sure it's properly adjusted. Or simply pull your shirt up over your mouth and nose. How should your mask be properly worn? How'd you wear yours?
Everybody should know this one this year because we've been trained
Yes, we've been
by the
new training.
anyways.
You know, it's weird because I was talking to a friend of mine. She has young boys. And like, you know, as adults, you don't leave the house unless you have your cell phone. We had to learn that. Like, oh, I forgot my cell phone. She said her young 5, 6, 7-year-old boys have been trained in early age. They don't leave the house without their mask. They just knew.
It's a new world.
That's a damn shame.
So, of course, the answer to this one, as you can see, is over your mouth and your nose.
Because the science shows that does. I'm not going to get into that. Okay.
But then you're actually, unless it's like a N95, you're actually supposed to dispose of them every time you wear them.
Right.
Because once you have bacteria, or you have to wash them. How many people actually wash them every time?
I think I wash mine like every 30 to 40 times.
All right, so I got the next one, right?
Yep.
Okay, Cedric came up with this one. What is the difference between a riot and a peaceful protest? A, it depends on the political party you support. B, violence versus speech. What do you mean?
One
Depends on violence versus speech.
No, one promotes violence, one promotes speech.
Got it. C, we don't know until MSN tells us.
The mainstream media.
Or CNN.
Yeah. That's what MSN stood for.
Oh, mainstream media. I was thinking you were thinking of
MSNBC.
MSNBC or
gotcha.
something like that.
Okay.
Got it. Mainstream media. Okay. I digress.
Okay.
And the last one, $1 to $100 in damages is peaceful protests, and $1 million to $500 million in damages is riots.
Yes.
That seems very technical.
Yeah, well, yeah. Depends how much damage is done. Depends if it's a peaceful protest or if it's a riot.
Okay, I got you. I got it.
You know which one it is, right?
Oh, you're answering this one.
Oh, okay. Okay. And actually, I had to look this up because I was just curious. It is violence versus speech. Riot is violence. A peaceful protest is you're out speaking and talking.
Okay, so all of those mostly peaceful protests had a hell of a lot of violence. But the mainstream media told us they were protests.
Protests. Ignore all the fires and explosions. It was a peaceful protest.
2020, baby.
All right.
You got the next one.
Okay.
I know you like this one.
Okay, here we go. Next question. After being busted on camera, Nancy Pelosi was undergoing which beauty treatment? Was it electrolysis? Was it a mani-pedi? Was she leaving a hair salon? Was she getting Botox? Maybe a chemical pill? A Brazilian butt lift? Vaginoplasty? Or was it all of the above? She probably needed all the above.
Wow. She needs to have her eyebrows lowered, I think.
She was getting it all done. She's like, just do it all. I need a complete overhaul. I need it all done. But which one was she actually doing? Which one was she leaving, Brian?
Of course, she was leaving the hair salon, but she was set up.
Yes.
All right.
Set up by a bunch of beauticians.
This one's good. He came up with this one. Why was... I did add a couple more answers.
Okay.
You'll see.
All right.
Why was Jake from State Farm replaced? He was having an affair with Flo from Progressive.
She's cute.
Yeah,
It's attractive.
sure. He was caught purchasing Aunt Jemima pancakes and Uncle Ben's rice. She sounded hideous. I have to watch the commercials to get that one. The general from Geico thought it was time for a change. Shaq's on one of those.
Yeah, Shaq's in the Geico commercials.
The general. No, that's the general. You're
The
mixing
general.
two.
Yes, I'm sorry.
So,
Yes.
so the general, not from Geico.
Yes.
Geico's the gecko.
Yes.
Who's Jake from State Farm?
Everybody knows Jake from State Farm.
And then he didn't have the right look.
I didn't tell you the answer to this, did I?
I think I know the answer to this one.
Which one do you think it is?
Should we tell him yet?
I'll give him time. Give him a little time. Okay. What do you guys think it is?
Well,
I had to look it up.
you didn't put any of them on it, so I said
I know.
he didn't have the right look.
That was the second part of it.
Okay.
Believe it or not, the correct answer was that at the end, you have to watch the original commercial like Brian said, but at the end the guy is calling his agent Jake at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why you call your agent at 3 o'clock in the morning, but and the wife comes downstairs and overhears him talking.
Yeah, I remember that whole
And says,
part.
"Who are you talking to?" He goes, "I'm talking to my agent." She grabs the phone and says, "What are you wearing?" Jake from State Farm. He said, "Trousers, khakis." And she goes, "She sounds hideous." That's why, because the transgender group said we were implying that a woman who had a deeper voice had to look hideous.
Are you kidding me?
I'm being dead serious.
But all they did is they kept the same name and replaced the white guy with a black guy.
But that was like the second part. But the original part was the fact that Jake had a deep voice, and we made the implication that because he or she had a deep voice, they had to be hideous. And they did another little trivia. Jake is actually an actual employee of the insurance company. They did a casting call for all the employees.
The original Jake?
The original Jake.
Or the black Jake?
The white Jake.
Okay.
They did a casting call, and he won that role.
So for those of you who didn't get the answer right, don't feel bad because I guess it wasn't in the answers.
It was.
But I'm going to give you credit for the right look.
The right look, yes.
Yeah, because you didn't have... which one were you thinking? She sounded hideous?
That's the answer.
Oh, okay.
She sounded hideous. That's good.
Either one of those you could get the point for. All right.
Let's see here. After initially accusing Joe Biden of being a rapist and a racist, why did Kamala Harris decide to be his vice president? Was it because it was a debate? It was a debate. She confused Biden with Willie Brown. She was willfully blind. Or she knew he wouldn't be around long enough to care. That's wrong. It's true, but it's wrong.
But which one do you think it is? Because this one, we have to decide what we think is the right answer.
I know, we don't really have a right answer.
You have to go with us.
You know what? We're not going to pick an answer for this one. Whatever answer you pick out there is the right answer.
I think all of the above.
I think the last one you put there, she knew he wouldn't be around long enough to care, it kind of has a lot of meat to it.
Probably it.
Okay.
All right. Next, You know we're just having fun with this. Keep your own scores.
Right.
All right. Where are we? Okay. POC stands for Pelosi. Oh, crap. Plain old conspiracy. Party of criminals. Person of color.
That one's an easy one.
If you watch our channel, you know that one.
Yeah, it's Pelosi. Oh crap. No. It is a person of color.
We both have color, though.
Well, they say that Donald Trump is orange, so isn't he a person of color?
Yeah.
Yeah. Orange man. Orange man bad.
So it's so funny. You know what? It's because they say that it's the party of chaos, or the movement of chaos, because person of color it's not a descriptive. I mean, what color?
Oh, yeah.
Whereas if you just say black, white, we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Say a person of color, it's like, okay. Oh, I saw something funny, speaking of person of color. So we all know what an Oreo is, right?
Yes.
Black on the outside, white on the inside. Mm-hmm. I didn't know for Asians they call it a banana.
Because bananas are
yellow on the outside, white on the inside.
I did not know that.
No, we saw that on, what is it, Filthy Rich Asians? Or
oh, okay.
Was that what it was called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We watched that last night. So I never heard of that term banana. For all our Asian listeners, you probably know what that is. We learned something.
Right. Okay. Next question.
You better get this one.
Yes, this it's a more serious one. Which city in China is known as the birthplace of the coronavirus? Is it Beijing, Shanghai, Wuhan, or Hong Kong? I think the city was talked about so much that it was kind of just
everybody should get this.
Drilled into our subconscious over and over again.
Everyone should get this one. Of course, it's Hong Kong.
Yes, exactly.
Hong Kong was in the news, though.
Yes. So how many of you got Wuhan? Correct.
Wuhan.
Yes.
All right. Where apparently they're partying right now, according to if you turn on the news, they're having like raves and stuff because they handled it so well there. Only like 84,000 people even got coronavirus in China, according to China.
Wow.
Even though they have, the largest population in the world, them in India. All right. Okay. Then I came up with some questions.
Heaven help us.
What was the wokest place in the U.S. in 2020? You can read them out of order.
Oh, you want to read them? Okay.
Oh, no, that's right. I'm doing it. Never mind. I forgot how we were playing this game. We've been drinking way too much of this sparkling cider.
Strong stuff.
We did not have shots of tequila before we started this episode. Don't think we did.
Absolutely not.
All right. Is it Portland? What's the saying? Keep it weird. Portland. Keep it weird. Was it Philly? Was it Atlanta? Was it Chaz Chop? Or was it the NYC? New York City. What was the wokest place in 2020? Could be all of them,
It could be all of them. I mean,
but one does stand out, and we did an episode on it.
Yes, that was one of our earlier episodes back in March, April. Yeah, when we first started.
Lose track.
Yeah. It was how many of you guys guessed? Chaz Chop. I forgot what that stood for.
I know it's autonomous zone
Autonomous
for the
zone.
chat, and I can't remember.
Well, so weird because they were against so many things. So
That's
right
a
when
bonus.
they started,
For those of you who knows what those mean, give yourself an extra point.
yes, what the letters stand for. But as soon as they started, what they did was they built a wall and established their own police protection agency.
And they separated people by black and white into zones.
Right.
So they segregated. They're woke. That's the whole woke thing now, is
Right.
segregation. We thought we were getting away from that.
I
I
thought
thought
so.
that was the whole 60s.
I thought so.
Going back. All right.
Okay. Let's see here. What's the next one here?
Statue one. Which statue did
Okay. Next question. Which statue did activists want to tear down in 2020? Was it Columbus? Was it Lincoln? Was it Washington? Was it the Emancipation Memorial? Or was it all the above?
Oh, they wouldn't get rid of Lincoln, right?
No.
They never want. And the Emancipation, they would never want to get rid of that.
Yes.
That's freeing up the slaves.
Well, it's kind of, it's kind of sad though. The whole point behind that is if you get rid of history, you don't have a reference point.
Plus, you just repeat it again.
Yeah, and then you can just start anew and say, okay, we're starting anew. But it's like, how do you know what mistakes you supposedly made if you tear down history? It doesn't make sense.
It's a damn shame.
It is a damn shame.
So, of course, the answer is they wanted to tear them all down.
Tear them all down. Tear them all down. Let's start over.
All right. So.
3 more. Hang in there.
You're having fun, aren't you? What drug was deemed dangerous during the pandemic, even though it has been safely used for over 50 years? Would that be aspirin, ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, or remdesivir? Hopefully, just by saying the words, we don't get
oh, jeez, I
taken down.
Can we share that? Like when we did our first interview with Dr. Barkey, we had to put that video back up, what, 4, 5 times?
I had to separate it into 4 parts, and I had to mute the word. But hey, First Amendment is free speech, right?
Yeah, we had done a video like on porn or something like that. They would have left it up.
Yeah, absolutely. We do cuties with a bunch of 11-year-old twerkers.
Yeah, but you can't mention a particular drug because, we gotta censor you.
And I wouldn't even mind if they would say, of course the answer is hydroxychloroquine. And I wouldn't even mind if they said, you know what, we don't recommend you using this because we don't know how effective it is. But for them to say it's dangerous, it's just, that's false information. Right. I mean, it's been used for 50 years.
And I'll share a personal story with you. I haven't had COVID, and my prayers go out to those of you who have had people affected by it. We know it's a serious. We're not poking fun at that. Just to let you guys know, I took hydroxychloroquine as a preventive medication, and it's worked fine for me. Yeah. No side effects. Well, not yet.
He does have that leaking pus out of his ear, but
I had that before.
Oh, okay.
Had that before.
All right.
Next question. Which team lost their name in 2020? Was it the Redskins? Was it the Indians? The Braves? Or the Seminoles? Or they're all probably going to go away eventually sometime.
I think the last one's probably going to be right, but for 2020, there is a right answer.
Yes, there is one true answer, although you said the last answer that they'll probably all go away at some time is probably the true answer.
But the funny thing is on this is they came up with a much better name for their team now. Much better name. It's very descriptive.
Yes. Yes. So what was the answer?
And of course, that is the Washington football team.
Yes, it used to be the Redskins.
Formerly the Redskins.
Yeah, now they're just the Washington football team.
Yeah, that's a lot of thought. I think they paid somebody $100 million from BLM to come up with that name, Washington football team.
Oh, Lord knows they had the money.
And you know that it wasn't actually Native Americans that wanted that change. It was
the white liberals.
Because I think if you look back, 90% of Native Americans say they don't mind the name, and some of them even liked it. Right. And the actual drawing was actually, I think, done by a Native American.
Well, it's done out of a sense of respect. It's like there's like the sense of honor and respect that they had in having their name used.
Yeah, and some people they want to say, well, the term redskin is probably not good, but I don't. That's not derogatory.
No. We digress.
Anyway.
Okay. All right. Last question. Last trivia question.
Before we go on to that, though, the reason it touches me because I'm an Aztec. I went to San Diego State.
Yes, you did.
And that may be on the list, too. Why? I don't know, because none of it makes sense. Because they were talking about getting rid of the Indians, right?
Right.
Yeah. Right. All right. You ready for this?
Last question.
Drum roll here. Okay.
Ching.
I had drums right there. What am I doing? All right. Who became a new Supreme Court Justice in 2020? Was it ACB, RBG, TLC, or Run DMC?
We're dating ourselves right now.
I was hoping you'd do a little Run DMC rap while we were closing out here.
I don't remember any of their songs.
Well, they did that one with Aerosmith, right?
Walk this way.
All right.
The Jam Master J. Run DMC. Sorry.
All right. And so the answer was ACB, and for a bonus, what does ACB stand for?
Are you going to tell them?
Yeah, you can tell them.
Amy Coney Barrett.
But not Comey Barrett, as
No.
Cedric said once in an episode by accident.
Thanks for bringing that up. Coney, like Coney Island in New York.
All right, I hope you made it through this whole episode with us. I hope it was fun. I know a lot of you enjoyed our Christmas trivia, and you got back to us and told us how many you got right and wrong. This was like a weird number, like 17 or something like that.
Right.
So hope you did good. Hope you made it through unscathed in 2020. I know many people didn't. A lot of people lost loved ones. We're just here to hope that 2021 is better. Happy New Year!
Well, you know what? Like Brian just said, we want to do this last video of our of Cedric and Brian this year. Just have a little fun because we know that 2020 was a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety for people. People lost their jobs, they lost income, and they've lost family members and friends. And so we just want to go in a little lighthearted way. And we know that 2021 is going to be an incredible year for all of you. Whatever goes on with our government, remember whether you're left wing or right wing, we're all part of the same bird. So just remember that, and don't beat each other up, and we'll get through this together. We don't know what 2021 holds in store for us, but as long as we stick together and lock arms, we will get through this madness together. We appreciate you guys.
Yes. Thank you for subscribing to our channel and liking our videos. We surpassed our goals for 2020, even during these trying times.
Yes. So we were very surprised at that. So we were remiss if we didn't say thank you to all of you who leave the comments and say that you look forward to our videos, and we like I said, we're just two regular guys, and that's what makes us relatable. But in saying that, what I need every single one of you to do right now, before the clock hits 12, is to send our video to just one person who said, you know what, they might like these guys. Just send it to one person, say, you know what, subscribe to these guys, you might like them. That would help us a lot. But in the meantime, we want you to like, subscribe, ring that bell, and share this video with everyone you know. So once again, Happy New Year from Cedric and Brian. I'm Cedric.
I'm Brian. See you later.